The 2014 Stampeders won the Grey Cup for the fifth time in their franchise's history. And here to recap that season is defensive lineman Corey Mace, who's here to tell us all about the action of last season and his personal life off the field. Corey, good to see you, and thanks for joining us this afternoon on the Two Man Advantage Podcast.
Hey, Kev, really appreciate you having me here. Looking forward to a great interview.
So, Corey, can you tell me? I know that 2014 was a big year for the franchise. It's the first title that you guys have won since 2008, and you're fifth in franchise history. So, can you tell me about last season and the importance of carrying on that tradition forward?
Yeah, Kev, you know what? It was a super important season, not only for myself, but the guys who I shared the locker room with, especially since I did come here in 2010. We've consistently been amongst the best in the league, but, we've always fallen short come playoffs or even Grey Cup loss in 2012. So Coach Huffnagel, heck of a coach. The word of the year was finish. As soon as we got to training camp, all we wanted to do was finish. We knew we had the ability to get to the playoffs, potentially get to the Grey Cup. When that time came that we did do what we thought we were going to do, the only thing we were worried about was finishing. And, fortunately enough, we did. And there's no better feeling than hoisting the Grey Cup.
And tell me about just your individual season going into 2014. What do you think you improved, and what do you think you'll have to work on moving forward?
Again, talking about, statistically for me, wasn't my best statistic-wise, but as I'm getting older, you know, passing on my knowledge to the younger guys and then seeing them take that to the field and execute. Some of the younger guys had an excellent season. So, kind of in a father figure role, I'm proud to see that because it only makes our team stronger. But for me, I think always consistently just working in the off season to make sure that I'm doing the right things to keep me, just injury prevention, I guess, so I don't miss any games and stay on the field.
And can you tell me about your time in the NFL? I know that you spent a little bit of time as an undrafted free agent with the Buffalo Bills in 2007, and you spent parts of two seasons with the Bills. So can you tell me what you learned from your NFL experience and how it may differ uh, from playing football in Canada?
Yeah, I think just looking back on my time in the NFL, I was fortunate enough to be under the tutelage of not only great coaches but great players, a veteran presence that taught me a lot about being a professional. And again, that's something that I echo in the room today with the younger guys. So it's kind of a passing of the torch thing, but to be able to get that kind of information from Pro Bowl athletes that are still in Buffalo or in Buffalo at the time, that helped me a lot. But I mean, at the end of the day, Kev, NFL, CFL, Pop Warner, middle school, it's all about the love of the game and preparing to play the game of football. So I think that was the greatest thing that I did learn in the
And
NFL.
can you tell me, I know that overcoming adversity for you is something that you've had to learn to do throughout the course of your career. I know that you tore your labrum in 2013 and then ruptured your Achilles in 2011. So, how did you persevere through those tough times, and what did you learn about yourself as a player and a person?
I think, at the time of the injury with the Achilles being my first major injury, missing any, game time, I didn't see it then, but it did. It taught me to be patient, and it taught me to really look at what I was doing as far as playing the game of football. Was it worth it to me? And every time the answer was yes. I love this game. So the lessons that I learned over 2011 and 2012 is continue to push to do whatever it takes to get back out there on the field and share share that feeling of being a champion with the guys you go to war with in that locker room and
And
your
can you
brothers.
tell me, I know that playing football is something that is dear to you, and sort of, you've said in the past that playing football in Canada was a surreal moment for you, particularly in your rookie season playing in the Labor Day Classic. So, can you take me back to your first experience playing professional football in Canada, and what did it mean to you to have the ability to help grow the game on this side of the border?
Yeah, playing the first pro game or CFL game, I guess, because I did get to play in the Toronto series in Buffalo. So, but those were preseason games, so I guess they really don't count. But the Labor Day Classic, yeah, you grow up in this country and you do see the rivalries, and for that to be my very first game coming in and play, it was kind of a surreal moment for me. And it went by in a flash. Usually you remember a lot of things about, some games. I literally, I don't remember too much about it. I just remember having fun. I know we killed Edmonton, which is a good thing. Growing this game here in this country, there's a lot of athletes out here, Kev, that are, young and up and comers who aren't so much into, other sports that may dominate the country like hockey. But being able to plant that seed with the youth here, and then having them come up, and you're seeing a lot of kids now taking off down south on full scholarships to play this sport. Man, it's a really good thing to see, and I'd like to say that myself and other guys around this league are doing our best to make sure that we keep planting that seed so that the young bucks after us grow up and do the same thing for the next generation.
And what do you think the key is to engaging people to get more excited about Canadian football as a whole?
I think, just talking to the average Joe from the U.S. who's maybe used to a certain type of football, you know what? It's a strategic game. It's a little more high scoring just because it's a high pass game here in Canada. It's a faster game as well. I think it's more exciting for the fans. But if you do go around, there's just as much loyalty in a fan base with the teams here as you're going to find, across the NFL as well. And I think now that, ESPN has done a good job of featuring some of our games down south, you're going to see a lot more guys, I think, on the state side, who might not have a chance to play in the NFL or want to transfer from an arena to make the trip up here to the CFL, because it's a great league, and it's something that it can compete with a lot of guys in the NFL. There's still some great players out here, and like I said, there's guys going back and forth between each league. So it is interchangeable.
And tell me, I know that you have experience as a broadcaster participating in the CTV Calgary Rundown show. So, how has that experience influenced you? And is it something that you would want to pursue once your playing days are over?
Yeah, it's at the time right now. It's something that I just find is pretty fun. A lot of the time that I do stuff like that, it's always about football. So I could talk about football for hours, man. So it's a real easy thing, but it definitely, makes me respect the men and women who do it. It's a tough gig, so I commend those people who do it. But, I got to say, in the Father Time is undefeated. And, eventually my time's going to run out here as an athlete. That's potentially something that I would be able to look at and take a serious look at to maybe pursuing as my second career.
So on the personal side, I know that you have a special relationship with your shoe collection and your stomach because you like food. So can you also tell me three things that people may be surprised to learn about you?
I think one thing that is quite surprising, even to some of my friends who I grew up with, are surprised when I tell them. I am a huge NLL lacrosse fan. Just recently, these last 4 years, my fiance dances for the Calgary Roughnecks drill crew. So I get the free tickets, and it's a heck of a game and a show that they put on there at the Saddle Dome. And it's a fun sport. So I do recommend that everybody, if you got a chance, to go check out an NLL game if it's close to you. Another thing would probably be that I have young siblings. I'm a 29-year-old man. You'd think that I'd maybe have some kids, but I don't. I got three young siblings. One is 13, the other one is 9, and the other one is 7. The two oldest are the boys, so they're really heavily into football, and they love that. And the little girl's still, dealing with the labors of being a princess, but she still has a love for the game of football. And the third thing that maybe nobody else would know about, I was really heavily into baseball growing up. I was a pitcher, but the other problem was I couldn't hit, Kev, so I had to change career paths and go and take my talents onto the football turf because baseball wasn't the answer for me.
And in terms of your community involvement, I know that you spent 2013 launching your initiative, Mace's Faces, where you take 15 underprivileged kids to home games there in Calgary. So, can you tell me about the initiative itself and how important it is for you to give back to your community?
Yeah, it's a program that I came up with that does bring 15 at-risk youth to each Calgary Stampeders home football game. They have a chance to sit front row, tunnel us in and out of the football games. They meet the cheerleaders after the game for pictures. They get some swag, some Mace swag, and then I bring some of the players out after the game for a meet and greet and some autographs. So it's a cool thing. The initiative really was to uh, attack something that I think is not really an issue, but just there maybe needs to be a little bit more help in situations around any city that has kids that are kind of on the cusp of making maybe wrong life choices. And if we can be somewhere kind of in the middle at that intersection to kind of be of an adult role model or something to maybe drag them in the right path. I think that's what myself and plenty of other guys in our locker room we do in this community. So it's super important to do what we can as athletes, because what we do is entertainment on the field or on the court or on the diamond. But to use that platform to give a helping hand when we can. That's a real life thing, Kev, and I think that's super important for every athlete to understand.
Well, Corey, I appreciate your time and for doing the show this afternoon. And thank you for joining us on the Two Man Advantage podcast. It was a lot of fun, buddy.
Appreciate that, Kev. You're the man, man. Appreciate that.